Hey, Ski Southeast fans, it's Brad Panovich here. The pattern changing for the new year just in time for a great ski weekend. It's been a pattern so far in December. So 2023 was warm in the middle of the week, cooled off in the weekends. Only exception was Christmas weekend, where it was kind of warm and wet. But here we are going into New Year's weekend. As I'm doing this recording right now, it is Friday. We've got a big upper low moving over the southeast. This is good news because this is bringing cold air. We've seen snow making, but it's also bringing some natural snow. Just a quick peruse of some of the cameras across the southeast. It is snowing lightly in many locations, and there could be a good burst as that moves in from the north and west as we go into the weekend. So we're going to see a pretty good surge of some snow in the higher elevations, at least tonight through Saturday, might even linger a little bit into Sunday morning. Let's take a look at the future cast through the weekend into early next week. All right, let's get right to the short range modeling because it looks great. Here comes our upper low. You can see the snow that it's going to produce. Again, the mountains are looking at some pretty good snow here tonight through tomorrow morning. So this is tonight, big burst of snow for West Virginia, down into North Carolina, even northern Georgia and Alabama could see a dusting of snow. But you can see this nice setup here. We've got the upper low, which is providing cold air loft, which is great for mountain snow. It's got some moisture, but then an added bonus on the back side of this, you get a little bit of a northwest flow event going into Saturday. You could see some of these streamers kind of setting up here. Again, probably more so up here in West Virginia. But as we go through the weekend and get into Sunday, looks like another surge of moisture, maybe another upper low coming through the Great Lakes. I can't tell if it's a vorticity max or some kind of upper feature, but it's coming down through the Great Lakes on New Year's Eve. And this pushes to the southeast. So Happy New Year as this thing moves down to the southeast. This actually could kick off another burst of snow as we go into New Year's Day. So this is going to move in late Sunday into Monday and provide another burst of snow. So the good news is a couple waves of natural snow and cold enough temperatures that we're going to be able to make some snow throughout the weekend. Let's take a look at some of the totals. So real quickly, this is the blend of models. I always like showing this because it's a more realistic version. You go through the next 72 hours, you see some totals, 2, 3, 4 inches. Possibly higher around Snowshoe, and then down in North Carolina, 1 to 3 inches. But let's go 7 days into the future, and we'll stop this. This is basically going from today, Friday the 29th, through next Friday, which is the 5th of January. You can see a nice little burst of snow here for all of the southeast, and definitely cold enough for snowmaking as well this whole time. And as we go 10 days into the future, you see even added amounts. So next weekend is starting to get my attention. That first full weekend in January could be really interesting. And speaking of the long range pattern, I posted about this on my Facebook page a while ago, but January, the big pattern flip is coming for colder temperatures. And this is the ensembles. Basically, we run 51 variations of the European model. And one of the things you're noticing going into the first full week of January and into the second week, you're looking at 5-day, what we call 500 millibar anomalies for the position of low pressure. So the blues mean colder, stormier weather, essentially. And you look over the middle of the country, this is North America, that's a pretty good setup. The question I have, though, and this is what you got to be careful of when people get really excited for cold and snow in these patterns, is does that cold go down here into the middle of the country, or does it come southeast? It looks like we're going to at least be active here with the storm track, which is great. So if this cold air does come down into the middle of the country, we want it to shift to the east. And we want that to be over us to get cold and snowy weather. But when you look at this, I'm going to put this all the way through January 11th. This is the European model. You look at the same model, the same time frame with the GFS. It's even stronger with low pressure and cold in the middle of the country. So this is a real good sign that it's at least going to be stormy. My big question is how cold is it going to be going into the new year? Certainly looks below average, which is good news because below average for the Piedmonts, east of the mountains and west of the mountains as you go into the Cumberland Plateau, that's maybe above freezing, but for the mountains, that's below freezing temperatures, which is really, really good news as we look long range. So get excited for the January pattern. It looks like it's at least more consistently cold, and the storm track, which is set up here in December, it's been a lot of rain, I know, is starting to look more like we're going to see the potential for some pretty good snow. But if you're going this weekend, man, what a great weekend you picked to go skiing because there's going to be some good natural snow. And next weekend, my goal is to go up to Winter Place. I'm hoping we get a nice little burst there going into next weekend. So have a great ski weekend, everybody. Happy New Year, everybody. Think snow, and the pattern finally is flipping Glad to see everybody at the resorts this weekend and them making snow like crazy.